Yo. Yo. Yo, yo, yo. It's funny how EA never bans Mumbo for his transfer market bot activities. Brother, what? What do you mean? I'm a degenerate at selling silvers. Mumbo's an EA employee? Brother, I would have packed every Sunderland card by now if I was an EA employee. Silver sold like crazy at content? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sold a ton of stuff. How you doing today, buddy? Hopefully you guys started restocking as well. Prices went back down. Open bids galore. Hey, Mobile, hope you're good. I'm doing fantastic, buddy. How are you doing today? Good brother, is there a best time after content to sell? I always feel like I'm late to the party. Yep. When an SBC comes out, you basically have a 10-minute period until SBC solutions start forming. And then once those SBC solutions start forming, once something's the cheapest solution, you have another 5 to 10 minutes for that SBC to basically sell those players at a premium. League One players still 300. Let's go. Yeah, people were struggling like crazy. I had a few people ask me if they should start winning silvers for 250, 300 coins last night because they were struggling with the 150, 200 bids or the 200 sniping. Look what new content today brought. Market back down, baby. But it's not like down. It's like perfect flipping territory where you can consistently win a lot of bids. You can flip most of these for 250, 300 coins. So you're essentially doubling your coins on a lot of cards. BPM Norway managers will skyrocket after the Holland SVC. Did the Holland SVC come out today? Or is it coming out later this week? I didn't even look, to be honest. I just looked at the challenge tab, saw the number 5, and I'm like, bet. Let's start cooking. Yeah, we sold quite a few bronzes today, too. A bunch of bronze rares from off leagues, not top nations. We got sales on. Lots of bronze commons from top nations we got sales on. We sold a few for 1,000 plus, which was nice. Big, what's up, buddy? How you doing, brother? Yeah, we made good coins. I held off on silver commons. I used it as an opportunity to sell my silver rares, bronze rares, and bronze commons. Those were the main things I looked at. Now we're resupplying a bunch of silver commons back in our club. That's like our #1 priority, is getting as many silver commons back into our club as possible for 150. If we have to start sniping like top nations good leagues, all that stuff for 200 again, and we will. But I want to win every humanly possible card for 150 until then. Because if the market goes back up like it did earlier this week, where basically everything's 300 plus, and it's hard to win bids for 150, you just on the back end can sell so many without even trying. It's a nice little flipper investment. Heck, you can even sell a lot right now for 300. You don't even have to wait. But how was your guys' day going? Did you guys make a lot of coins off the SBC today? Your. Trainer, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Alright, those are all going. Should we hit record real quick for the start of this? I think so. Bum, 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 bum. When do you think League SBCs would come? My guess is the exact same time as last year, which was second to last week in October. So I would assume we'd have it similar time. Holland price prediction? I have no idea. Made 100K for shadow trading. Let's go. W. Is there a certain, do you do special cards for shadow trading or like metas? What's your like method with that? Test. We'll see. Test. All right. Let's get it. All right. Let's record this real quick. Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Mumbly. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to show you how to make coins off of daily SBCs. We got this new Cornerstones Challenge 5 at new content today. As I'm recording this, it's about 4 hours after, so I'm going to show you guys some screenshots of things that I sold. I'm going to show you guys kind of what I did to prepare for something like this. We didn't know exactly what was coming out, but we knew something would come eventually. And then kind of what happens with the market afterwards. So if you're trying to see a full picture of how this all works, we'll talk about that. So if you do enjoy, smack the like button, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below how many coins did you make today on this. We are at over 100K profit already today. We got a ton more stuff that we could sell on and a ton more stuff we're investing. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the SBC. Let's discuss what the market was earlier this week. So first and foremost, you need players from the same league, max a 3 in the starting 11. We see it's a 4-2-2-2. So you see 2 center backs there, 2 CDMs, 2 cams, and 2 strikers. So if people are trying to get high chemistry on this, those positions are going to be very important. Countries, regions, minimum of 5. There's going to be a lot of diversity, and it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to get exact chem, especially if you're using different leagues to link. So in my head, right away, I'm like, okay, people are going to use a lot of top nations. Those top nations are going to spread across a few different leagues. But then also, too, if you're using, let's say, like the Bundesliga 2, Bundesliga 3, if you're using League 1 in France and you're doing the second division there, there's some other nations in there that might go up that isn't French or isn't that top nation. So we kept an eye on those. Gold players, you needed a minimum of 3. I personally didn't look at the gold market for this. I'm sure there was gold commons that became SBC solutions. But the one that really caught my eye was 5 rare players and the 70 rating. What this means is if you got to put 3 golds in, a lot of people are not going to need all the silvers in the world. They're actually going to chuck in bronzes. So we had a bunch of bronze commons go up in price. We had a bunch of bronze rares go up in price. And that 23 chem is just good enough where people really need things to get the chemistry, but not difficult enough where things really went down. So what I did with my silver rares was, this was the last thing I started selling. All this stuff I basically picked up for 300 coins. If I could get 500 or more on, I basically sold. A lot of my off nations for bronze rares, if I could get any amount of coins for, when usually it's going for really nothing, like relist for 200 within the hour, you could get a few sales. We started selling all that off. So there were some SBC solution ones, some top nations went up even more. But basically what I did is I sold all these off, or as many as I could, knowing that I could reinvest with not only the supply from the SBC, but just throughout the week on a lot of these over again. You see here, League One Bronze Common, I got 550 for. There's another one in there that we sold for over 1,000 coins. Another Spanish player. This one's a women's center back, silver rare, 600 coins, easy flip. Be able to reinvest in them for 300 coins. Here's a silver common sold for 1.2, England. Right back, which is needed in that. And then look at this. This is the supply that happened on the market because the pack includes, not only is it a tradable pack, it includes silvers in it. So we then, an hour after new content, had a wave of open bids, which crashed the market, which then you could win a bunch of these for cheap. So everyone complaining earlier this week that they no longer could club stock for 150 or 200 coins because the market was heavily up. This was kind of a little bit of a release in terms of those prices where if they go back up, you have the opportunity right now to continue to win these bids. And not only that, as an investment, you could flip them in the moment. We're selling a bunch right now for 250, 300 coins, and I can show you that real quick. Absolutely amazing. So essentially what I did before this was we did a few things. One, if you guys have seen my bronze pack method video, you would know that we've essentially been club stocking every single bronze possible with BPM, with a bunch of the bronze commons. We got a bunch of bronze rares from that. But we also had a bunch of bronze rares that we mass bid for 150 that were top nations. My reason for doing this is every time we got a daily SBC, I would notice that there would usually be some bronze rares that would go up. And I usually didn't have every single bronze rare that was needed if people were sticking to the top nations. So what I decided to do was I said, hey, let me do top nations, the ones I don't have. Let me mass bid 150, chuck them in the club, and if we can ever make a sale on them, we'll flip them, and then we'll reinvest in them when they go back down. That way, we're not necessarily always waiting until they get to some insanely high price. If we can get 500 plus in the moment for it, absolutely go and reinvest. So, like, here's a perfect example. I sold for 700. This card at one point was over 1,000 coins for the SBC solution. If I would have waited, if I would have sold at that price, it would have been extremely difficult for him to sell quickly, and he would have been undercut. So in my head, I wanted 1,000 plus for him, but I would gladly take 700 if I meant I could reinvest those coins and buy a few more bronze rares England with that. So that's kind of my logic when it comes to selling these. Ideally, there's a lot of stuff you can store in your club and wait till it's 1,000 plus. But here's an Eredivisie card. Until we get League SBCs, which is hopefully very soon, Eredivisie isn't really going to have that much value until the League SBC. So knowing that we could get 600 for this, I know eventually this is going to be something that if we get in our club from BPM, if we get these same exact League SBCs as last year, League One Eredivisie, Jumbo Gold Pack section there, these usually go for 400 to 600 coins. So that could go back up again. So decided to take the coins there and move on. And the same thing applies here. We just went through all the cards. We've showed you guys in the past on stream how you can use kind of footbin solutions. We've showed you Discord servers you can join for free to kind of see people post their SBC solutions for cards that have already gone up. We have in our section of Discord a place where you guys can put things you're selling as well. So all that's kind of documented, and then we're showing it to you after the fact. Here's another one. We got 450 for a random bronze common that's French from the second division in France. Realistically, there will be other times where this card will go for 1,000 plus again, but this is the kind of card that I pack all the time in BPM, where if it's not going for 200 within the hour when I'm opening more bronze packs, I'm quick selling it, and then I'm kind of missing out on those additional coins. Would it make more sense to potentially put that on my transfer list with a bunch of other bronze commons we have in our club for 200 and have them not sell really, and then relist them all together? In my opinion, no, because what we do instead is a lot of this silver flipping that you're seeing here. So kind of the trade-off is, hey, we'll sell those things once they're up, hopefully sell enough of them so that when we keep opening bronze packs, we don't have that many dupes, but then we keep our transfer list for things like this. Already going for 300 plus there, we can double our coins on the Micah. Here is a women's Bundesliga goalkeeper, 70 plus rated, already going for 300 plus there. So a lot of these cards we're already doubling our coins on. We're picking up a lot of 70 pluses. We're picking up a lot of top nations. We're picking up a lot of good positions. Some of these cards can even still be SBC solutions. So just because the price of silver commons in general is going back down with the supply doesn't mean that it's not going to have cards that still have an insane amount more value than the average on the market. So keep that in mind when you're listing things. Right now, I'm going to start listing for 300 coins. I know some go till the end of the hour for 250 right now, but I also know that earlier in the week, everything was basically 300 plus. So if it stays this way, where we can kind of keep picking up bids for 150, even if I don't get the 300 sale, I have every card I'm picking up for 150. We're able to make, 100 coins per card if we sell at 250. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy as a reinvestment to get all these cards back in the club. I'm happy to look through my club to see anything else that's up right now. But in general, these are the things we do throughout the week in order to keep getting ready for daily SBCs. We don't always guess exactly right for the requirements, nor do we really try to. Essentially what we do is we get everything possible. We get bronze rares for top nations, and with BPM we have a lot of the off leagues and non-top nations as well. So if there's a big rare requirement, we can sell off a ton of bronzes. If we have silver commons like this in bulk, if the bottom of the market goes to 300 plus, everything we get doubles. But anything besides that, more of the top nations, more of the good leagues. If we get league SBCs, I have like 1 million plus worth of coins of silver libs and silver suds in my club ready to go. So we just print there. And then gold commons, we have some gold commons that we picked up for 300 coins. Top nations, good leagues. I'm going to wait till marquee matchups to try to sell those. But it's as simple as that, man. The only market I really didn't cover so far in this is the silver rare. Silver rare has been relatively low. If you guys have been paying attention to that market, you'll see that a lot of things have a start price of 300, and they didn't really sell for 350 within the hour. So when we were picking up a lot of the top nations like Spain, England, France, when we were able to get 500 to 600 on a ton of those today, that was one of those things where it's like, okay, right now I may be able to list a bronze rare and get it to sell for 200 to 300 coins. That's a not top league. But in my head right now, if I can get guaranteed coins on these silver rares, and since they go for a little bit more in general, right, silver rares have a little bit more of a quick sell. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, all the coins that I get liquid with this, even though I'm at no fear of running out of coins, I can use that to reinvest in more silver rares. And not only that, I can go back in and get basically every bronze rare that I don't have yet by hand if needed for whatever we missed out on. So that's essentially how I treated the daily SBC today, and what I'm going to do to kind of get ready for marquee matchups, and what I'm going to do to get ready for the rest of the week is essentially just pay attention to the market. We'll keep picking up bids for 150 as much as we can on the silver commons. These silver rares, I'll still see. If we can get 500 plus on something, I'll probably sell it, but a lot of these are already going back down to 350, 400 within the hour. If you get more specific with the positions like we talked about before, the SBC needing 2 center backs, a right back could be needed. This guy could play right back and center back. These might hold a little bit more value. Like this one we might be able to get for 500 coins, but my kind of trade-off that I'm hesitant on doing is getting rid of all my top nations right now for 500 when we might get an SBC in the next few days that needs a lot more rares, a little bit higher of rating, and then if I have no top nations in my clubs and those go to the moon, I'm kind of left stranded. So I think my plan for right now is I'm going to keep going in on the silver commons. We'll lazy list maybe some of these and keep mass bidding to see if we can win them under the buy now price. But in general, unless it's a club stock, I'm probably going to start holding the rest of these silver rares. What to do with 70K? I'd recommend looking at our trading playlist in chat, buddy. It is the pinned message in chat. I highly recommend looking at our how to make unlimited coins with silver players. Highly recommend looking at the BPM one. And I highly recommend looking at the other silver related one when it comes to club stocking. Yeah, any questions about what I just went over? Does anyone have any questions with silvers right now or bronzes? Prices things got to. If you should sell some bronze commons, if you shouldn't. I can kind of go through right now too. Let me go through my club. So for bronze commons, if you can get 200 potentially in the hour right now and you have space on your transfer list, I'd highly recommend potentially getting a sale right now. So I'm going to go to bronze commons. I'm going to go to highest quick sell. I'm going to start with maybe center backs and go from there. Any idea why silvers are always at discard on PC? Because PC has barely any of a market. And what I mean by that is there's barely any buyers as there is barely any sellers. So it's operating at a fraction of the speed that the PlayStation Xbox is. So when League SBCs come out, there'll be things that have a guaranteed bottom. But right now, there's just simply not enough people caring about those things to give them a value. You have to create more unique filters in that case to give yourself more value. Like top leagues, things like that. Something I would be cautious with, though. Like, here's a perfect example of one. I could probably get 400 on this guy within the hour. And I probably should sell that one. But this Kike right here, I'd probably get a 200 sale. Is it worth me selling a top nation bronze common that I'm not going to pick up by hand? This is a BPM pack pull. Is it worth me selling for 200 when this is the sort of thing that down the line, I almost guarantee you, there's going to be an SBC that comes out that sends this kind of guy to the moon? I think I'd much rather hold off on those sort of things. Maybe some Brazil ones, potentially. Like MLS sold good today. NWSL sold good today. Those were ones to look at. But like, yeah, these top nation ones, unless it's like currently an SBC solution, I'm very hesitant, I feel like. How much do you buy these silver rares for? Discard price. Or as cheap as we can, so 300 coins. Usually we'll always buy them when the market's down as well. It's like Scott's one we could maybe get 300 coins on. Taylor, what's up, buddy? How's it going? Alright, should we take a look at the silver rare market right now? Long do you wait after an SBC comes out to sell your players? Usually within 10 minutes of the SBC coming out, Footbin will start having some solutions. After those solutions come out, I wait 5 to 10 minutes from the solution I see till I start selling those players. Then at the same time, I'll pull open my Discord. I'll pull open other Discords that have a price check section. And as I start posting the prices of my players, as other people start posting the price of their players they're selling, we essentially take that information and look through our club for those specific nations, those leagues, those exact players to see if they sell too. So those are the two main things I look at. Like, here's an example of a guy. He's a former Dortmund player, right? That'd be a nice Evo. Back-to-back bronze and silver demand equals coins. Just wait and stock up. Don't sell. Do BPM until marquee matchups. Then sell chat. All right, let's go back to bidding. Anyone want me to look at anything specific right now? Anyone want me to look at the bronze rare market, bronze common, silver rare? Gold common I haven't really looked at today. I'm sure there was some top nation gold commons that probably went to the moon. Loads of silver supply from the base hero packs today. I didn't even take a look at those. Are those in the player section? No, that was the old one. What one are you talking about? This? Base hero upgrade? Electrum, small Electrum. Oh, here it is. Gold common check. Let's take a look. Gold commons. Alright, let's go to gold common market in general. 350 check. Not everything's selling for 350. Let's do center backs. Lots of center backs will sell by the end of the hour for 350. A ton will take a while. Prem, what's Prem at? Looks like most Prem will go by the end of the hour for 350. Prem center back. How about Prem England? What's Prem England looking like? Okay. How about Prem England defender? Yeah, it might not be a bad idea to stock up on these before marquee matchups. Also, by the way, a lot of the coins we made today, I reinvested back into Cornerstones for Xhaka to get the aesthetic on him, and then we had to with my Enda. He's just too cold. Absolutely cold. So we spent 100K of like the 105K we've made today. Money well spent. Alright, let's us see how bidding looks like right now. What I'm going to do is two different things with silver commons right now. So I'm going to try as humanly possible, as much as humanly possible, to win 150 bids. Once we no longer can basically win a single card for 150, like I truly mean that. Like I will, if we're winning 1 out of 10, I'll keep bidding. But if we're to the point where we're losing every single one, we're going to switch to not 200 bids, but 200 snipes for a lot of the good factors to look for. The top nations, the good leagues, good teams, good positions. Not winning many at 150. Yeah, it's starting to really cloud up. And I figured once we'd go live, everyone would get on it too. I had no problem winning almost every single card earlier. As of earlier, I mean like 30 minutes ago. Put down 100 bids and you won about 5? Yeah. So it might be time to then switch. We'll give it one run out though. We got hundreds in our club today. Is Pale Tools safe to use? Pale Tools has always been safe to use if you're doing the pack opening, animation cut, building packs. But if you use the sniping bot, you will, without a doubt, get banned. But there's been 0 cases of people getting banned for using Pale Tools as an extension for those other areas. Where'd you get that much SP? I don't feel like I have a lot of SP. How much SP do you guys have? I've barely done anything. I do maybe like the daily XP, some of the weekly one just by playing games. But I feel like I haven't gone out of my way to try to earn XP. I feel like I'm falling behind. What about the pack opener? That's included. You can open packs. What I just said was you can open packs, and more specifically, you can also disable the animation for it, which is the most important thing, in my opinion, about Pale Tools. Is the speed you can spam, like, BPM on there. Or if we're doing League SBCs, like, once League SBCs come out, we're going to make 2 videos. We're going to make one for console. We're going to make a Pale Tools guide. Because if you want to do it on console, it'll be very easy to make a few runs a day. But once you get to the like upper echelon, I'm talking like 20 to 25, sometimes 50 runs a day of League SBCs. And I'm not joking when I say that. We will have a stream where I do like 50 to 100 League SBC runs in a day. And I will not end the stream until we do. People underestimate the BPM profit today. Well, the thing is, today BPM is going to prove this to people. And I feel like it proves two things, and one more than the other. For a lot of people who have been stocking up on bronzes through BPM the past week or two, have probably felt really discouraged that they haven't seen the rise in prices that they keep hearing everyone talk about. Because if you look at previous years, even to like the video we recorded, I kept saying, I'm like, hold this in your club. Don't really get rid of these things. There'll be a daily SBC where these will shoot up in price. There's some of them you'll be able to get 1,000 plus for. I have a lot of these Top Nation cards that I'll probably just hold until it's close to 1,000 plus. Just because I know it will go for that eventually. But at the time with nothing out, people really don't see that. And if they already don't have a lot of coins, they're going to be like, oh, come on, man. So like today, they were stocked full and they sold a crap ton of stuff and made a crap ton of those coins back. But on the inverse, what I hope people don't do is there's a lot of people who just started doing BPM now. They just started doing BPM now as prices are going down because they saw prices were up. So instead of being ready for the SBC, they see prices are up. They see everyone's profit. So they start spamming BPM now thinking, okay, every card's going to sell. It's going to be guaranteed profit in this moment. We're going to have no problem selling anything. It's still going to be these crazy prices. And then once prices start going back down, or it's slowly like getting their coins gone again, and they don't see the value of holding in their club for the next SBC, they're going to be stuck in this pattern of just reacting to the market rather than being invested and ready to go for it. Does anyone, I'm curious, with bronze pack method, does anyone do lazy listing with bronzes? Does anyone spam lazy list bronzes? I had a dude come in earlier this week and say he does a, was it 5K's the max price? He'll do like a start price, I think he said, of 200. Or sometimes he'll just do the 150. And then he'll essentially have it where he'll have sometimes people buy the card accidentally for 5K. And I guess he gets sales. Blows my mind, but people misclick. Lazy Sun Fodder, want to sell everything before Friday and probably reinvest. Was on 1.27 on Friday evening after champs. When everything sells, will probably be at 1.85. Nice, man. I've only been watching your videos for about a week, and I've already made money. I usually would have. Made money I usually would have. My first year trading silvers. Wait, did you miss something in there, CJ? Or am I reading that wrong? I've only been watching your videos for about a week, and I've already made... Is it made more money than you would have usually had? First year trading silvers? First day where BPM pays out all year. First of many, right? And then wait till we have like League SBCs consistently. Hopefully we get League SBCs soon. But like once we have that, there's going to be a base value of so many bronzes on the market that will sell easier and easier. Money I wouldn't have. Gotcha, bud. Glad it's working, man. I tried. I couldn't even get rid of bronze rares for 200. Were you specifically looking for SBC solution cards? Discord screenshots? Were you looking for top nations? What were you focusing on, buddy? And bronzes were like one of the last things I sold. Did I get the goalie on here? Where's the goalie? Yep, there he is. 5K for the goalie. W. Love packing him. Bronze coming for 500. Yeah. What, I can't remember. What two bronze rares usually go to for that first icon SBC? Is it 300 plus? Typically? how many cards are already doubling our coin zone, boys. See, bronze rares from BPM's nice. I personally take it a step further, and I spam bid Top Nation bronze rares to make sure we have one of almost every single one we can get our hands on in our club. Because what I usually find is it's like the same thing with silvers. I could bid on silvers all day. I could snipe silvers all day. I will have like 3 or 4 74 rated cards and like maybe 10 73 rateds. They're like inexistent on the low end market. Usually you have to really look for them or snipe them because they're already up in value as it is. And I feel like a lot of the bronze rares and even some bronze commons, the 64 rateds, just with the odds of the pack and the bronze pack for 64 rateds, they're just harder to come by to get every single one. And I find a lot of times those are the SBC solution cards. People like chucking in 64 rated ones a ton. And especially for those top nations, there's some you'll just, again, never get your hands on unless you're looking for it. How many hours till Rivals rewards? Oh, dude, I completely forgot about Rivals rewards. I don't know if I'm going to have time to play tonight. We have... 9 hours, 22 minutes for me to get at least 9 points. If I could get 24 points, that'd be nice. All right, we'll keep bidding. I'm still surprisingly winning a lot of silver commons for 150. Did people go to bed or are they just not doing it right now? I want all the supply to then dry up right after. Slurp it all up and get it back to the 300 prices. You get about 35% of them. I find I usually have better luck if I'm closer to a minute out, because then I'll find like full pages rather than just like one-offs. Should probably just go by position too. Get a bunch of defenders. Midfielders, attackers, goalkeepers. What did I end the, what did I say at the end of the recording? So, that's essentially how I treated the daily SBC. Let's go to the moon. Oh, unless it's a club stock. Oh, shoot. Forgot to put that in. Alright, before we end this video, I want everyone to do one thing right now. Whether you're watching this video the day of me posting it, whether you're watching this a week later, a month later, does not matter. Every single day you get on, you should go to Quality Silver, max buy now 200, and see where prices are. Currently right now, everything sells for 200 within a few minutes. This is going to be really nice for 59th minute sniping, getting a lot of the top nations, the good leagues, yada yada. But we want to find the minimum price that everything's going for, and right now, a lot of things will sell by the end of the hour for 250. We're already getting a lot of sales for 300. So if you can win 150 bids, I know earlier this week a lot of people were complaining that they couldn't no longer win their 150 bids. Spam your 150 bids. Remember how desperate you were to get them for 150. We had people even asking if they should bid 250 to 300 to win cards because they thought prices might go to 500. Now that we get a little bit of supply, now that prices are temporarily back down, reinvest accordingly, flip for easy profit in the moment or hold for in the investment, and then just rinse and repeat this process over and over and over again. It is not complex. I feel like once you've been through a few daily SBCs, you'll start getting kind of more of a rhythm of how this works. But I'm telling you guys, this is just a low-end method. All the coins you're making from this, you can reinvest not only in more cards, but you can then go into higher-end stuff. If you want to then invest in informs after this, if you want to go in and get some promo cards that are now going to be out of packs, you could do all that stuff. So just because you start with silvers and you start with very few coins doesn't mean that once you make your first few 100,000, once you make your first million from this, that you can't keep doing it. If anything, what I like doing when I get more and more millions is I will handpick and individually go in and make sure I get every top nation card I can for bronze rares, silver commons, silver rares. I'll even do it with gold commons. I'll stock everything in the world. If it's a top league and it's down right now, I'm going to pick it up. If it's a good position, it's a silver center back for 150. I know it's going to be an SBC solution at some point. And look, already more selling for 300. So we're just going to sit here for like the next, on stream for like the next 20 minutes and do nothing but bid, store, and flip over and over and over. Easy, easy coins. Too easy, boys. Ugh. When does the next gauntlet start? Monday? Okay. I'm assuming it's going to have the next card design, right? For the cosmetic if you win. Were you just making a YouTube vid? Yeah, on stream I'll record part of some YouTube vids. For RTGs I'll do that where I'll record some on and some off. But then for trading videos, the concepts we go over are things we heavily do on stream. And usually I'd record right after the stream, but I have a family dinner tonight, so I gotta head out in like 20 minutes. So I just joined, so what's the strategy? Bid on silver commons for 150 and sell for 300. That is the method right now of current market prices for after all of the silver supply today from the daily SBC, from the hero pack. But in terms of the printing coins on Cornerstone challenge, we made a majority of those coins already from selling off our club stock bronze rares, bronze commons, silver rares with SBC solutions. No, you can't say fully, but do you know how much it would cost for every single silver rare from top nations? I wouldn't look at it like that. I get what you're going for. How many coins do you have right now? I guess I can give you an idea of what will happen rather than an exact number. I mean, technically, I think you could use FootGG or Footbin to find an exact number. You could put in silver rares, Spain, and see how many pop up, and then do it for Brazil, do it for this. You could get a number, then if you picked it up for a 300 bid, you could times it by 300 to get an exact price. But I'll give you an idea of how it will usually work. You have 700K? Okay, so you're going to get nowhere near running out of coins doing that. Not only that, right now, since a lot of them will have a base value because of the SBC today, a lot of the ones that you could pick up for 300 on bid probably already go for 350 to 500. So you'd be making coins while you're club stocking if you get a duplicate. Same thing kind of applies with these commons, right? We're picking these commons up for 150. There's so many that we don't have yet because we sold them off earlier this week. But there's so many we do have that will flip for double the coins. And that will pay for the card we just put in the club. If I get 10 dupes, I'll pay for the next 10 I put in the club. And then that at a huge bulk. Think of that for hundreds of cards, and then think about SBC solutions when these shoot to like 1,000 plus. How many coins would be making from that? So bronze upgrades to pill tools. Do a template of 4 Chinese, 4 Korean, 4 Indian bronze commons, and craft away. You can do that. The one I really like doing is I like selecting what my top nations are and what my top leagues are. And I'll have it set to all non-top leagues and all non-top nations that are bronze common. put into bronze upgrades. That way it takes the stress away from me having to have an exact amount per league. It'll just pick everything. What's the best of club stock bronzes? There's two things. I would highly recommend looking at our playlist. If you look at our trading playlist in chat, we have a video specifically on BPM. That's going to be really helpful for days like today, how you could have made so many coins off of bronzes. So I'd watch that. But then we also have a club stocking method where bronze rares are included in that. Not bronze commons, but bronze rares, where we have very special strategic methods to get the harder to reach cards that will, without a doubt, usually double, triple, quadruple your coins throughout the week. Loads of bronzes from BPM. Do you know what's up from the daily? You have missed almost every single thing with the daily. You could look at SBC Solutions right now on Footbin to see what's currently up. You could go through top nations, good positions, things like that. But the best time is always basically about 20 minutes after new content when it comes out, in like the next hour or two. Because there'll constantly be fresh solutions that people are buying. After that, it just slows down greatly. But now that you're learning or now that you're preparing for it, you'll be ready for the next one. So it doesn't mean you can't sell some stuff on right now, but even the stuff you could sell on for right now, it's probably a fraction of the price you could have gone. I'll give you an example. I'm going to show you guys a Discord server real quick. They do something a lot better than ours. They have like, I think 3K people in here. So I'll actually link this in chat too if you guys want to join it. Let me find it real quick. Invite people. Okay, I'm going to put a Discord invite link. Don't join it yet because I want you to look at my screen. But after I show you, you can join. So this is BPM guy. He has a Discord and he has a huge community where they post a bunch of different things. The most important channel though is the thing called, am I on it right now? Yeah, Club Player Check. So if we go to when new content was, which for me that was noon. For me, new content comes out at noon. I want you to take a look at this. These were all the things that went up in price since the SBC came out. Look at all the different nations. Look at all the different leagues. We're still not even there yet. So this is before content. This is an hour before content. Look, stuff is selling at crazy prices. 6K for a silver common, an hour before. 7 minutes after, 1.2K for that guy. 1.2K. 1.2K. 5.1. 1.2. 1,100. 1.1, 950. 1,000, 1,700, 1.1. Thank you for the sub, by the way. 1,000, 1,300, 600. Like, you don't necessarily have to look at the SBC solutions. A lot of the people that are posting these are looking at the SBC solutions, then looking in their club to sell the players. If you're paying attention to this as it's happening, you can then check your club for that certain thing. So like what I do, and the best way I'd recommend going about it, is if I see an Australian card was up in price, not only would I look for this guy by searching up Aussies in my club, I'd look at other Aussies. I'd say, hey, are there any other Aussies that are up while we're at it? Because usually people use multiple. And like here's an example of that. There's another one that went for 750. 3K for that one, 1.2. And look, some are the most random of nations, the most random of leagues. It's not always just the top nations or top leagues. A bunch of other stuff has value as well. And this is the sort of thing you miss out on when you do the SBC or you try to sell the stuff on later. I'm sure if we went to like live right now, 449, a minute ago, Ginaduli. So this guy a minute ago, if you guys have him in your club, as of a minute ago, he sold for 2.3K. Looks like Bundesliga 3, 63 rated. Hi, I'm new to BPM. Can you help me? I don't understand anything. Big K, if you look at the chat, we have a pinned trading playlist in there. If you click on that, we have a bronze pack method tutorial video in there, how to make unlimited coins. I highly recommend you give that a watch. And if you have any questions after watching that, I'd love to answer, but that's going to answer probably 99% of them. What was the guy's name that I just said? Jin Dooley. 63. That's a different language. I don't know what, yeah, we don't have them. Like, here's a better example. A few for 200, but if I can get a 700 coin sale for that, I'll reinvest 150 in a heartbeat on that. Same with this one. This one might be an SBC solution now again. I'm going to do 500 for this one. Do I think it's going to go for 500? Probably not. But if it even goes for the low end 300, I could reinvest for 150 later. Boom. Here's another one. Probably going to be little more than 1,000 coins we could get. But if I can get a guaranteed sale for 800, I'll reinvest in it for 150. So actually there's a resurgence right now. Looks like German cards might be back up. You buy random silver cards or specific? Yes to both of those. Again, that's covered in our trading playlist as well if you want to see all our methods on picking up silvers. But we pick up everything. Some for specific reasons, like making sure we're club stocked on top nations is always a priority, but when the whole market's down and we can pick up everything, and then sell when the whole market's up, that's also huge. So yeah, I'd go through all your German cards right now, guys. Look, there's one for 200. Do we want to list the one for 200? Probably not. I should probably look at these other nations too. But yeah, as you can see, even hours later, there will be things that are SBC solutions, but they might be a fraction of the price you could have gotten elsewhere. Also, too, something to note, and this one might be a little bit more controversial for the club stocking community. I'm not opposed to treating these like silver commons in the sense of if you can pick them up for 150, the top nations, and flip them for 300 to consistently get them in and out of your club. The issue with that, though, is if you time that poorly, you could have no top nations when an SBC comes out that sends them to the moon. So I would be cautious going that route. But, like, right now, the way I'm selling, I'm going to go back in later. I'm going to go in and make sure I have every single bronze rare top nation possible that I've been selling. And I bet I'm going to pick some up in the moment that even go for double, triple the price that I could sell right away. But, on top of that, if we're not checking if we have the card already, if we're not using, like, Pale Tools, where it'll gray out if we have the card already, I'm going to pick up a lot of dupes that won't even sell for 200 within the hour. And very quickly, we're going to have a full transfer list of these not selling. So keep that in mind, too. No, the Discord I just linked is free. And my Discord's free, too. You don't have to pay any money for that. It's just people posting polls to help out. That helps so much, bro. Thank you. No problem, man. Yeah, the one I just linked in chat a minute ago, that is BPM's Discord. That's not my Discord. But both are free. French managers on PC were 1,400 last night. Dude, I've been debating giving up a day of an RTG or a day of selling and going all in on French or Brazil managers. Or both. Because I saw like similar prices. I feel like it's worth it. What's the best play to club stock silvers if we can get the bids for 150 now or focus on bronzes for 150? How many coins do you have right now, CJ? $125K. I would spam bid 150 on the silver commons because these are the easier thing to flip everything for 300 plus. So to club stock and to make coins while you're doing it, it's going to be easier. I would personally, if you're empty on bronze rares of top nations, it'll be very easy to not get dupes. But if you're in the situation like me where you have a crap ton of dupes, I use Pale Tools so it shows what I have and what I don't have. And that makes it easier for when I go in and bid. I'm only bidding on stuff that I don't have. That would be how I'd recommend getting those bronze rares. Why don't I find the club play section on that Discord? It's titled Club Player Check. It's under menu play related. Yeah, if it does the same thing, yeah. As long as you know you're picking up cards you don't have. Alright. I want to see if any of these sale. So again, this is the thing you got to be careful with. Usually with the SBC solutions, when it's right after new content and you're on it within 5 to 10 minutes, the prices are on the way up. So yours will get bought as it goes high, high, high. So you might see the same exact card go for like 3K. And then you go check in your club and you see a bunch posted for like 2.5, 2K, 1.2. And you're like, what the heck? It just was 3K. Because everyone's reacting when it came to buying up, but then everyone's also reacting on the back end where everyone's trying to undercut each other. So my word of advice is when you're listing these cards, be careful because there's a lot of times where if you overlist, it's not only not going to sell within the hour, by the end of the hour, it'll probably have no value again. Will the marquee matchups tomorrow be international break related? I would assume so. So if you want to make sure you have a bunch of silver commons from nations that would have important games this week, you could. I just club stock everything, so I cover that automatically. Alright, I gotta head out in a few minutes, guys. Holy Cookout, I bought the For You pack for 50k coins. Got a couple 84s at Bass. Rip. Rip Maroni. But yeah, before I do go in a little bit, guys, if you could do me a favor, smack that like button. If you guys consistently come to the streams, you hitting the like button while you're watching really does recommend the channel to YouTube and shows that not only you like it, it'll recommend the content more to you, it'll recommend it to other people as well. So just a free way to help out is if you guys could get in the habit of smacking that like button. I really would appreciate it. Also, too, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, man. We do a bunch of trading tips here, bunch of investing advice for low-end stuff. We do show some high-end stuff as well, but our channel's mainly focused on low-end grinding, how it doesn't matter how many coins you have. You can still make millions a year. On top of that, once League SBCs and other repeatable SBCs come out, we become a degenerate at spamming packs. So if you guys ever want to see kind of what's the best way of building up packs, whether for Team of the Year, for a promo, how to make coins and packs at the same time, we can help out a ton with that. We got the RTG playlist in the description. We're 17 episodes in. Newest one came out today. We have a Sunderland Road to Glory on there, and then a standard kind of just meta team. It's going really well so far. I'm really enjoying the series. I think you guys are too. We had our first foot champs. I will say only that. I did not use a full bronze team and go 15-0. Money Printer will go Burr again tomorrow at Marquee Matchups. Dude, I love Marquee Matchups. Marquee Matchups is just the freest coins and then the freest supply. The only issue I have with Marquee Matchups is I wish I had like 10 hours to sit there and sell items. That's the difficult part. Because like Marquee Matchups, they'll be like, oh, all those silver center backs you have that are 70 plus, they're all 500 plus minimum right now. Get those listed. But the bronze rares, They're all 700 plus from the top nations. Those gold commons, there's random ones for 3K. You should sell that too. But those silver rares, man, that you've been sitting on, you can consistently flip them right now and double your coins. Oh, you have a Greek goalkeeper who's extinct on the market? Sell him. Yeah, essentially what we do weekly is we sell hundreds of items a day after new content, and then we restock hundreds more past that. So even if we do empty our club, the number of coins we have and the number of players we have both usually go up. Which I guess is a good problem to have. How to Ashwins on what cards you need to bid? I have no idea what you meant by that, buddy. Could you reword that? How to win the cards? Yo, how you doing? Haven't seen your stream for a couple of years, but you helped out back in the day with Silver Center X. Let's go! He was doing the method years ago. We're still doing it, buddy. We're still doing well. Glad to see you back, man. How you been? If you're trying to win more bids and there's a lot of competition, remember there's a difference between getting outbid and getting beat to a bid. If I try to bid 150 on this and it shows that X, it's showing the X because the current bid's 150 and someone beat us to the bid. There was another bid there for 200. So keep that in mind. If you're getting beat to a bid, going usually like about a minute out can help quite a bit. Get a bunch more cards. But one thing to kind of keep note on is when you're bidding, if you're on the same page as someone else, most likely they'll keep outbidding you or beating you to the bids on the cards on the same page. If you flip to the next page, even if they did it at the exact same time, chances are you guys are going to be on completely different pages. So don't be afraid to just go to the next one if you're not winning or can't place bids. How to know on what silver cards you need to bid 150. Official, if you need help with that sort of thing, buddy, our trading playlist goes over tutorials on all that, brother, so you can learn the silver market if you're new to it, man. In general, baseline, everything's going for 200 plus right now, so 150 is a guaranteed profit on everything on the PlayStation Xbox market. But if you want more understanding of how that works and how this week everything was 300 plus, now you could have doubled your coins. That how to make unlimited coins on silver players video will help you a ton. Much do you think you make per week off of club stocking? We made over 1 million coins the first week. The second week we would have made well over another 1 million. But I've been doing a bunch of the, what's it called? Cosmetics on Evos. So I've been buying Evos with coins. I've been buying the things on the cards. I've been reinvesting into special cards. I put about a few 100,000 coins into Libertadores and Sudamericana cards as a club stock for League SBCs when they eventually come out. So we have a bunch of coins scattered everywhere. $1 mil a week? Yeah, we're at 2 mil plus transfer profit right now. And all the trading we do is usually low end. And so once I sell all these investments, I mean, just simple math. We have well over 5,000 cards in the club. I don't know if we're top 25 in the world anymore. We were top 25 in the world at one point for club value. And again, everything we sell, we just reinvest into more. So if I sell 100 silvers that went crazy up today, or at least minimum double their coins, I'd be able to put well over 100 back in. Do you just bid 150 or no higher? That's a complicated question. Right now, if I can win them for 150 and everything goes for 200 plus, I want to bid 150. If it gets to the point where I'm not winning any of these, we have videos on the channel that will help you understand the logic of going for more. In general, though, there's a reason we're only bidding 150 right now. And it's very specific to the current market in this exact moment. But it makes a lot of sense for 200 bids or 200 snipes if it starts rising a little bit more. And the reason I say that is because if you were to have been here a few days ago, people are asking the question, yo, should I start bidding 250 to 300? I'm selling a lot of these cards for 400 plus. I can't win anything for 150 or 200. I can't even snipe for 200. What do I do? And with the supply today, the market's back down. And then once the market goes back up, people have the same complaints, and it'll just be a never-ending cycle. That's another reason why we club stock too. If we club stock everything for 150 whenever we can, there will always be a time, usually on the PlayStation, Xbox market, where things will have a base value of 300 plus throughout the week. So it's just doubling your coins on every single card minimum, on top of all the SBC solutions, on top of all the top nations, the good leagues. It's just beautiful. You understand? I'm grinding silver commons and BPM all night and silver rares. Can't forget that. I just don't want my coins to go too much down. If you're club stocking the silver commons, like I said before, we're selling enough to pay for the ones we're putting into our club already. So your coins not only shouldn't move, they should keep going up the more you get. Because the more cards in your club, the more dupes you have. For the silver rares, I would probably stick to top nations right now. I'd set up a filter. For example, if you can get silver rares for 300 bid and they have a minimum buy now of 350 for a specific league or nation, I'd go for those. So for example, if I go to Spain right now, Spain earlier, everything was 350 plus. Yeah, it looks like most things will sell for 350. So fun one with this, I'll show you too. You could see there's the same cards getting listed. But if we get to the 59th minute, there's some cards that have way less supply. So like here's one. The women's top division in Spain. 350. Not only would that be a good investment, this is one of those cards where if there's a limited amount on the market right now, we could probably flip it and get close to double our coins. If I list it for 700, it might get a sale. I'm going to do a 600 to see if we can make a quick buck there. But if we do 350 bids on Spain, let's see what that market looks like. Same thing applies. You could bid on all these cards. It might go a few minutes out, but you might see cards that already have a 300 bid on it. I would compare price. If this card has a 300 bid, you might be quick to move past. But if she has a minimum buy now of 1,000 plus coins, like if she has a 600 right there, you could bid 350 and make 250 on that. So I'd keep that in mind. Another thing you can do too, you can take off the top nation. You can set like a minimum buy now of 1,000. You can just look for top leagues, top nations here. And as an investment, you can just bid 300 and stock it in your club. But you can also take today's daily SBC and think about it. Like a 73 rated Argentinian center back. I got a feeling that's going to go for value at some point, but could probably flip for 350, 400 if I had a dupe. Here's another one. If I could win any 74 rated silver rare, that's probably a good investment. Any top nation would be a good investment. But then you can really hone in on those leagues. NWSL is a really good flipping league. So I'm going to go to the NWSL real quick and show you that. That's the women's league in the United States. So there's a lot of top cards here in a very limited market. So if we go to 350, there's a lot of 74s popping up for 350. A lot of these show up for SBC solutions too. So there's going to be a lot of hidden gems in here, especially if it's a US player in this league. Lots of money to potentially be made. So you could go to the 59th minute here. There's a Brazilian woman that just popped up. Arias seems rare. That seems like a good deal for the Anderson. Center back, I like that. Bode looks good. Rodriguez, a left back. Like, I like all these. But if I could win them for 300, it's even better. I'm going to chuck those in the club. Her. I'm going to flip for 450. So 700K, you think BPM or all silvers? I would recommend actually both. I would spam silver common mass bidding, storing them in your club and flipping duplicates, not only to pay for the ones you're putting in your club, but also to fund your BPM investment. Because that's what I would consider BPM as, an investment. Does that make sense, bud? And like, again, if you watch my BPM video, it'll explain it in a lot more detail. But essentially, a lot of those dupes that go for nothing, instead of listing those on your transfer list, I instead replace it with silver commons. Because we make way more coins per card on the silver commons than we would a bronze common not selling for 200. And if you think about that in bulk, think about listing 100 bronze commons on your transfer list that are dupes that aren't going for anything. And you're relisting, you might have a 5-hour period where you sell 30 cards. Think about how many coins you made off of selling those when you could have just quick sold those and funded having silvers up there. Meow. Isn't this true, though? Yeah, true, but it takes ages to get to the point where you get more dupes. Yeah, well, again, if you watch our videos, we answer that exact thing. You can go position by position. You can go league by league. You can get to a point where you get very specific to get dupes faster. You also can do a half and half. If you bid on 50 cards, let's say you win 20 out of the 50 because you might be heavy competition right now, and you know most of these you could flip for 300, store 10 in your club, sell 10. Boom, you just paid for the ones you put in your club. One of them is an SBC solution card. When you compare price, sell it for 1,000 plus if you can get that. It just paid for the other 10 you put in your club. Once you start thinking about it from that perspective, it's very easy to finance it. Like I said, your problem, especially if you have hundreds of thousands of coins already, is not running out of coins with these club stocks. It's your coins will keep going up as your players keep going up. It always usually goes in the positive direction. My biggest complaint about silvers is not that we can't make millions of coins from them, because we make 10 million plus liquid coins every single year from mainly silvers. And not to mention transfer profit. Transfer profit will usually make 25 mil plus a year just from silvers. Our biggest issue is there's just simply not enough time to sell everything. But yeah, that is going to be it for today, boys. We're not going to have an RTG episode for 2 hours before new content. We'll do a trading video instead. So if you guys kind of want to know more, if today's your first day in the stream, you wanted to understand kind of in more detail how I kind of club stock, how I understand what something has value for, how you can kind of find that yourself. We'll have a video go out tomorrow kind of going over all those different things. Are you still Div 6? Yeah, we're closer to Div 5 than we are relegated from Div 6. But I think by the end of the season, do they knock you back a few? All I know is I don't want to get out of Div 6. I don't want it to get more sweaty than it already is. All right, but take it easy, guys. God bless. Have a good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.